Let's talk some chess. This game took place in 1965 in England. The two players are named Walker and Almeida. Unfortunately, don't have any information about the players other than their last names, but this is a really fun game that we can garner some lessons from for your own game. So Walker opens this up with e4. We have e6, the French defense, and now d4, which is probably the main idea when you're playing with the white pieces against the French defense. You want to control these sort of four important central squares. And here, Almeida battles back with the most common move, which is d5, attacking this e4 pawn. Walker plays knight to c3, adding a defender to the e4 pawn, but now bishop to b4, pinning the knight to the king. So the knight is no longer truly defending this pawn because it can't move away, because then the bishop would take the king, which is not allowed in chess. So instead, e5, pushing the pawn out of harm's way, getting some space on the king side, and now c5 by Almeida, really wanting to sort of bust up this pawn structure that Walker has here in the center. A3 now by Walker, forcing the bishop to make a decision. Do you want to capture? Do you want to treat? Do you want to retreat, not treat? Almeida says, I would like to capture, so bishop takes on c3 with check, and now pawn takes on c3. And now you have this nice sort of string of pawns in the middle of the board, but you do have double pawns on the c file, so some good, some bad here for Walker. Knight to e7 is played by Almeida, preparing to castle kingside. A4 now advancing this pawn and maybe setting up a landing spot for the bishop, but this is not, maybe not the best move, but we'll see how it fits into the scheme of things a little bit later on. And now knight b to d6, developing another piece, and now adding pressure to these two important squares. Knight to f3, protecting these two important squares at this, right after, and now queen to a5 by Almeida, now threatening this c3 pawn, which is actually undefended, and this would be disastrous if this pawn, for example, if Walker makes a silly move here, queen takes on c3, forks the king, forks the rook, and picks up the rook and essentially wins the game. I don't know why I just just like highlighted my whole screen. So you can't let this pawn fall. So here Walker plays queen to d2, protecting the pawn, and now a6 by Almeida. And here Walker plays a really interesting move, plays bishop to a3, and this is a interesting move because it removes the defender of this pawn on a4. The rook is currently defending the pawn, but when you play bishop to a3, yes, you develop a piece, yes, you attack this pawn on c5, but you remove the defender of the important a pawn. And here Almeida says, okay, I'll take the pawn. Not only have I captured the pawn, but the bishop is pinned to the rook. You don't have this bishop takes on c5, picking up a free pawn because of queen takes rook with check on a1. So Almeida sort of takes the pawn. It's like, okay, this is totally fine. It's all good here. But now the game is actually completely over. Walker has successfully trapped Almeida. So see if you can take a few seconds and find the move here to end the game with the white pieces. Okay, some of my favorite moves in chess are bishop sidesteps, and that's exactly what we have here. The winning move is bishop to b2. Really weird looking move. Doesn't look like anything is achieved. The bishop is now protecting the c3 pawn, but the important thing here is that the black queen is now trapped. The rook is obviously attacking the queen. The bishop is now protecting the rook, so the queen can't just take the rook back because the bishop takes back. So the rook is taking away the a file. The pawn is taking away the b3 square. This pawn is taking away the b4 square. And what about this b5 square, you may ask? Well, don't forget about the light squared bishop on f1, taking away that square as well. So all of these squares are taken away, and the queen has nowhere to go. The best move here is just queen captures rook, bishop captures, but Almeida doesn't even play this, and in fact, after this bishop sidestep, just resigns the game. So a fun little miniature game, good lesson not to sort of get your queen stuck on the queen side or the king side on the a file or the h file, where it might be easy to get trapped by these pieces, but definitely a fun, not the most intense, heavy analysis game, but definitely a fun one to review, and one that you should know. So hope you enjoyed. So thanks for watching. Drop a like, drop subscribe, let me know of other games you'd like me to review, and we'll see you next time.